Hi everyone, Jay Johnson here with dailytexture.com. I know you guys have been loving the Unpredictable collection, and I've had a few people ask me how you can get rid of the white background. These are painted on a white background, so they come as JPEG files. They're not on a transparent background, but I'm going to show you how to take your unpredictable textures and make masks from them. And you can use these masks in other applications too. You don't have to use them with the unpredictable textures. But I'm going to show you how to make a mask. And I'm working in Corel Paint Shop Pro 10, which is a very old version of Paint Shop Pro. I don't use Photoshop. So you'll just have to take what I'm telling you how to do here and figure out in Photoshop how to do the same thing in Photoshop. It's probably a little easier in Photoshop and a little smoother than it goes here, but you'll get the principle of it from what I'm getting ready to show you. All right, let me get rid of this. Here is one I've already made out of the first unpredictable texture. I made this mask. I'm going to close this out, but I'm going to show you how to do this with one of the other textures. So that was unpredictable texture 1. Let's try number 2. All right, so we have this beautiful spring-like texture with pinks and a little bit of yellow and green, and it's got a white background. And let's say you want to get rid of the white background. Now, these aren't going to be exact because of the texture here on the edges being kind of faint. It may not be exact as to this, but it'll work for you pretty well. So the first thing you're going to do is open the original texture, and you're going to convert it to black and white. I just go to grayscale on my program, and that makes it black and white. Now I'm going to right click on the layer, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to set that duplicated layer to burn. Oh, now we're getting somewhere because you want as black and white as you can get for these. All right, so that's pretty good. I'm going to merge these layers. And now I want to get more black. There's still a lot of gray in here, so I want to get more black. I'm going to go to my curves adjustment, and I've set up, it's pulling the last used curve that I had used, and I had my curve set up like this to get the whites really white and the blacks darker. I'm going to see if I can pull this down. Oh, that didn't work very well. Hang on just a second. Let me undo this and go back. I'm not real good with working with that little graph on curves. I'm going to try to pull from here, and then that didn't work well either. I know you pull this down. This is not working for me. Maybe it's a conflict with the video program. I'm just going to go with what I last used, but to get darker, you want to pull down on here, and this is, I guess, your midtones. It still doesn't want to work. Come on now. Nope, it wants to argue with me. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's just go with what I last used. I somehow had got it set right. I think it might be conflicting with my video software. So I'm going to click OK on that adjustment, which made it quite a bit blacker. And now I'm going to run the curves again. And actually, I'm just going to repeat it again. I want to go as black and white as I can. So I want to run that curves as many times as I can, which that's pretty good. That's about as dark and bright as it's going to get. Now that I've done all that and I've got a lot of black in there, I'm going to invert this. I'm going to do negative image. Okay, this is what you want. You want to do the negative image. You don't want it like this because this black is going to conceal when you apply that as a mask. And this is where you want the design to show. So I'm going to do a negative image, which makes the black over here. You want to conceal all that white area, and you want the white to be here. Now, as you can tell, there's a lot of grit and grime and things like that in here. So what you want to do here is fill this in with white paint. I have whites already selected as my foreground color. I'm going to go to my paintbrush and click on that. And I have the opacity to 100%. I have a fairly large brush size. And I'm just going to go in and fill in all these little specks in here without trying to mess with the outside edges too much because I really like the way those are, but I want all of this grit and grime out of the center. I want to keep the edges like they are. That's just my personal preference because this brush isn't going to get in there and get it too accurately, but so I'm just kind of filling in, and you can bring this out as far as you want and fiddle with your brush sizes and I'm using a round brush. You could pick other brushes, and basically you just want to fill in with white right there. So now the center is all white. Now you want to save this as something else. So I'm obviously not going to rewrite over the original texture, so I'm just going to put the word mask here and save that. Okay, now I'm going to open up that original one again, which was number 2. There we go. That's my original one. Now what I want to do here is I want to duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to shut off the bottom one. Now on the duplicated one, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click New Mask Layer from Image. I already have the mask image open, so I need to pick it from my list here. So I pick Unpredictable Mask 2. Now, you see it didn't get it exactly, but it got it pretty darn close and kept those edges nice. Now, since I've applied that mask to the original texture layer, it has now become transparent, and the white is gone. So at this point, I can save this as a PNG file. It's saved as a JPEG. So I'm going to do this and put -PNG and choose PNG from my file types and save this. And click yes. Okay, now I have this transparent one saved. And I have the mask I made saved. So now I'm going to open up the PNG file. There we go. We have a transparent, unpredictable texture just from following those steps. And like I said, you'll have to figure out in your software how to do those similar type of steps. But basically, you make a mask, then you apply the mask to the original texture image and save it as a PNG once that background disappears. When you have your mask applied correctly, the background will disappear. It will turn from white to this the little boxes which show that it's transparent. So now let's say I wanted to put this on top of a paper texture. So I can go to the Ultimate Paper Collection, and I have a really pretty pink springy look. So I'm going to choose a pink spring looking background to put this on. How about this light green right here, because there's a little green in there. I don't know if it'll look right, but we'll see. So I have this paper right here. So now I can copy, edit, and copy the PNG file. And then I can say paste it on this paper as a new layer. And boom, there I have my transparent PNG. Now notice in the middle here, there's still some little white showing. But depending on how you mask in your subject now, at this point, if you put your subject on top and mask away the background and mask away parts of your subject to allow some of this to show through, you might end up losing those white layers. If you did not, those white spots like right there. If you did not want those white spots right there, you could actually set up another new mask layer like you normally would do a mask, and you're going to paint with black to conceal. So you want black for your foreground, and being that those are tiny spots, you want to get a little brush, and you can go in here like this in those little spots if you don't want them. So basically I'm applying a mask now to this area. If I didn't want those little spots to show and I wanted the paper to show, and see, it took away the white and allows the paper to show through. And you can also play with opacity if you wanted to have a little bit of the white still showing, but just a low opacity paint coming through. You could do that. And you could get more accurate with it than I'm getting. I won't get that accurate because more than likely I'll be placing a subject in here and it'll hide those little white spots anyway. But that's one way that you can make these unpredictable textures into transparent backgrounds, is by basically taking the texture, making a mask from it, and then saving it and as something else, not over the original texture. Then open the original texture again and apply that mask you just made to it. And once you do that, it will disappear. You can also say open up a file. Let's see what I have a picture of here. Okay, here is a picture of some birds, of course. So let me pull open that mask again. That was Unpredictable Mask 2. I'm going to open that. You can also, you don't have to even use, once you make a mask from it, you can use it with all kinds of images and place those images on different backgrounds and such. But let's say I wanted to apply this mask to this picture. I would right click, new mask layer, from image. I'm going to choose the masking image as my source and click OK. And there I have it. I have my original picture underneath, which I can then get on that layer, and using my move tool I can scoot it around to get it exactly where I want it. But if I want to mask out a portion of a picture in this mask shape that I've made from that one texture, I can do that. And then I could actually open up, let's go with that paper again. Copy that. Let's see if this will work. Maybe I should have done it the other way. Paste it on here as a new layer. Bring it down underneath. And see, I can take a portion of a picture and by using the masked part of it, put it on a different background. But anyway, I thought that may help you guys figure out how you can get rid of that white background. That's the easiest and quickest way I have figured out how to do it. You could sit there and select all the white and hit delete and get rid of it that way, or you could erase it all or mask it all away, but you can actually make a mask from the texture image itself following what I've done here. But you'll just have to figure out in your own software how to do the same type of process. So I hope that helps you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support of this collection. I'm so glad you guys like it, and I hope you all have a great day.